I'm sorry that I stole your car. Ain't got those tattoos on.
Welcome to In the Crease with Ztending. I'm your host, John Ztending. My co-host, Lou Luttrell. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
Awesome, man. Right now, we are both streaming a professional women's game, the PWHPA, the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association, and we kind of happen to know two of the linesmen. One is my wife and her sister. My wife Bree and Chelsea is her sister. They are the linesmen of this game, and this is at Protect Ponds right now. It's the big deal. It's the first time they've actually had a game since all of COVID-19, and it's really cool to see. We also the other cool thing about it is they're also lining the game tomorrow, which is going to be at Madison Square Garden, and it's going to be broadcasted on NHL Network. It's going to be the first women's pro game on national TV. It's such a big deal. It's so incredible. NWHL were try to do their thing, and PWHPA are trying to step up and really advocate for women's hockey and making sure that they're getting equal pay and they're getting equal rights and getting the same thing that the professional men's leagues are getting. And it's really important that we support women's hockey. I have coached women's hockey for a really long time. I coached in the NCAA D1 level with Princeton University for 6 years. And it's been awesome to see some of the females move on to incredible things on and off the ice. These girls, man, like the big thing about it is, they don't make as much as the boys. They have to have a career on top of that and then have to juggle those schedules at the same time. So it's really, really hard for them to be able to make the commitment to hockey, as well as be able to actually make money with their careers and put food on the table. For most guys, they're all dreaming about being at NHL and having that their career. And for women, it's not the case. They have to make sure that they have supplemental income that will help, their hockey career, and their hockey career kind of becomes a hobby, and that shouldn't be the case. It should be able to be a career and sustain their livelihoods and pursue their dreams to be professional women's hockey players.
Yeah, this is I'm watching it while you're talking right now, and this is great hockey right now. I'm watching Bree break up a scrum.
Oh yeah, I see that too. There you go.
Yeah, this is great hockey, and especially if you want to see some good examples of forwards and defensemen doing some great angling on body contact. This is where you watch to learn that, because they obviously can't throw checks in the game, but they are really good at angling and using the proper angles to separate players from puck.
It's awesome you say that, because one of the biggest things for women's hockey is because they don't have they can't check, so they have to be way more strategic. They have to be way smarter for all their decision making, and it really is a chess match for female hockey. The strategy involved is so critical, and angling is, oh man, listen, guys can get a little bit off on their angles and clip a guy and get some body contact and make a check and be okay. But for women's hockey, that's not the same. They have to make sure they're very precise on their angles and really make sure that they are playing like I said, a chess game and not a checkers game.
Absolutely. And as we're talking right now, I'm watching some of the women here use their sticks in the angling process, kind of funneling players where they want them to go. It's just I love watching women's hockey.
So so Louis, we talked about this before, being a coach in a New Hampshire area. What is going down in your neck of the woods with your youth teams and your junior teams?
Yeah, we're filming on Saturday. It's almost March here right now, so seasons are kind of winding down. They're doing youth hockey's doing state tournaments all this weekend, playing for championships here in New Hampshire. And we've got for the Lakers our last goalie practice coming up, so we'll be doing some fun stuff for those Lakers who listen and catch this probably before Monday or after Monday. We're gonna be doing some fun stuff. The Wolves junior teams are buzzing right now. We've got the top level EHL team. They are on a hot streak. They are, they are just buzzing. We've got goals coming from all over the place. We've got goalies playing hot. I had one of my goaltenders start his first EHL game and get his first EHL win, which is huge. Z just hopped off there to get the dogs, but no big deal. I love those dogs. Yeah, EHLP teams coming up. They're starting to play well as a team. Took them a while, but they're playing well. So they're doing great. We got playoffs coming up for the divisions starting in a week. So we're getting prepped for that in the junior level.
That's awesome for your U teams to be able to. I'm sorry, guys, you heard that. My dog's barking. It's 8:30. It wasn't the mailman, but something riled up my dogs. So for our youth teams here down in New Jersey, we're not even really going to have playoffs. So it's just
really?
pretty much we're done. So we're going to try and find a tournament to play in. We added a couple games in. We're going to go for another couple weeks. They just chopped our clinics because one of our rinks is going down, and so there's one major group called Black Bear Sports Group that owns pretty much all the rinks in our area and all the rinks that I work out of. So they are supplementing that ice and letting the other kids, other teams jump on our ice. And so we're kind of like sharing it, sharing rinks a little bit here. So, which is really awesome to be able to do. So that way all the kids get hockey. It limits everybody else's ice, but at least everybody gets ice and the rinks are able to, get fixed properly. Because the rink that's getting fixed, they need completely new floors, new subfloor, completely new pipes. Everything needs to be rerun. It's been band-aided up for way too long, and there's a lot of rinks just like that get band-aided. So on my team, so I coach Squirt New Jersey Stars team, and we are buzzing as of late. We are on a 4-game win streak. Last week, so 2 weeks ago, we had a penalty shot in our game, and our kid stoned the kid blind with the left pad. And then we also had an overtime win, a come from behind overtime win, which was unreal. Pulled the goalie.
Nice.
We scored.
Nice.
And then second shift in overtime, we scored.
Nice.
No big deal.
Oh, speaking of overtime wins, I gotta plug the Wolves here real quick. Last Saturday, there was the annual JBT game, which is a fundraising game the Wolves do to raise money for pediatric cancer in honor of a young kid that died of pediatric cancer. So every year they do the JBT Not So Many shootout during one of the Wolves games. Those shooters raise money, do a shootout in the middle of the game, end up raising money. It was a great game. Wolves were down 3-0, came back, tied it up in the third, went to overtime, won the game. LJ was in the nets. No big deal there. Big win, $15,000, over $15,000 raised for pediatric cancer research.
Oh,
It's
man,
awesome.
that is amazing. That's awesome. You guys won overtime. We just had a game against I believe it was the Connecticut Rough Riders that we won in overtime. One of our goalies didn't have a great game. That's okay. This is why we have more than one. Another one stepped in, jumped in, locked it down, and then we ended up coming back, forcing it to overtime and winning in overtime with a crazy goal. It's incredible, and that's helped to get the win streak going. And I have a new goalie for the Ducks. It's really, so this is a great story. I have a kid. He came from the New Jersey 87s, and he wasn't getting as much playing time as the other goalies. So they traded, and now he's over to my squad. His name is Matt Sales. He's actually been following, we've been following each other on Instagram since like 2013, so quite a few years. And I've never coached the kid. The kid is from Atlanta, Georgia. And then he also, his grandparents live in Boston, in Massachusetts, sorry. somewhere in Massachusetts, but he trains with Stop It during every summer. And this is the coolest part. Okay. So obviously he's got great goalie coaches that he sees during the summer, and there's not really too much at home in Atlanta, but he went to prep school and whatnot. Now he's playing junior. So he's getting that goalie coaching. What I'm trying to get at here, this kid has been we've been following each other for so long, and I've been liking all his pictures, and he has been so current with Ztending. The kid knows what a pretzel is. So we had our first practice together yesterday, and the funny part is we're going through some drills, and he just fit right in, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, we're about to play a rebound game, and when the goalies get scored on, all the goalies have to do a pretzel. And if you're a Z-tender, you know what a pretzel is.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, you'll soon learn once you come to one of our sessions. And the kid is like, yeah, butterfly up, stomach up, back up. I'm like, yeah, you got it. And then he almost did. He just didn't get all the way up all the time. But and he's like, he basically got it, and it was so cool. But the kid's been a Z-tender at heart, for many years, and it was just a seamless transition. And that's one of the reasons why that we broadcast and give so much free content is we want everyone out there possible to be able to see what we're doing. And it just basically, the reason why I believe we need to do this is because we have a lot to offer. And there's a lot to talk about too. We've interviewed, LJ Newell, one of your goalies, a kid that you coach for juniors. And then we also, and the couple years that you've had him, it's a blessing, right? Because you get to see this kid's transition through all his youth and hockey career. And then our second one was Steve Glick, a kid I've coached ever since he started, and he's been with me for so long. It's really cool to see the transition and see this kid grow up. Myself, being coaching for so many years. And then on top of that, our last episode, we had Nora Ratu, who's a 4-time Olympian. So there's such a vast a difference of people and Z-tenders and that we've, I'll call Nora Ratu a Z-tender at heart, but she's also mega goaltending, and she's a bunch of things. She's a rock star, superstar, farmer, survivor. Call her what you will. She's a rock star. And everything underneath. So our next interview, and let's get to this, is Nick Pontertorio, right? Nick Pontertorio is also, sorry, I just butchered your name 2 times because I want to say Pontoriero, and it's how it looks, but it's Pontorio. And because you got to
like
remember,
Schuylkill, it doesn't look anything like it sounds.
Like, yeah, exactly. And nobody outside of Philadelphia knows anything about Schuylkill, and it's just a weird Philly word. Yeah. Anyway, so Ponto, as we call him in the Z-tending world, he is been a dedicated Z-tender from the very beginning. But the interesting story that we're going to bring to you is that he is a type 1 diabetic, and he didn't get diagnosed with diabetes until he was 18, which was uncommon. And the transition that he took with that and how it's shaped his life so far. So let's get to that interview. Welcome our Z-tender for life, Nick Pontorio. Welcome, Z-tenders. In this interview, we have a long-time Z-tender. He went out in a bang in his high school career, won his high school championship with the Riverfront Raiders. He is a 3-time champ for TCNJ hockey for the CSHC. Family owns the best pizza place in New Jersey, Jersey Shore, and it's called Manco's Pizza in Ocean City, New Jersey. Shameless plug here. My boy, you've been doing Crease lessons since the day you started. Nick Pontorio. How you doing, buddy?
Doing? How's everyone doing?
Good, man. It's normally I see you all the time, and with current coronavirus and COVID-19 situation, you've been kind of laying low, and this is because you have type 1 diabetes. And I want to get into further with that, but before we get into all that, let's take us through your youth career with hockey and how you became a Z-tender and the different teams you played for.
Yeah, so I got a late start. I started when I was 12 years old, and basically I started out with Flyers Youth, played a year there, Bantam B, and then after that I moved a little bit closer to me, playing for Grundy Senators, and I played there for 3 years, all midget A teams, and then my senior year of high school I played for Toms River Blackhawks, and that was 18A. So yeah, I basically just stayed relatively local, playing for NJYHL and DVHL, and yeah, that and then that led to me playing for TCNJ, and I've been playing there ever since. Lost senior year to coronavirus, but it is what it is. Better be safe than sorry.
So you started training with me, about 10 years ago. And you started training, you did our Crease lessons religiously, weekly, if not every week, for quite a few seasons. That was what do you think was one of the biggest, maybe it was Crease or maybe it was the synthetic or the ice. What do you think one of the biggest training tools that you've used as a Z-tender that's helped you get to where you are?
Definitely for me, since I'm shorter than most goalies, almost every single team I've been the shorter goalie. So that really makes you focus on technique and speed and just, getting out on top of the crease and everything. I think Crease really helped me with that, just getting all my angles down perfectly so I could easily make those transitions and everything.
So you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that is more of the hereditary type. When did you find out, like, how did this come to fruition, and how did you find this out? And because normally it's a lot of type 1 diabetes, they're born with it and they kind of know it early on, or but you kind of found out a little bit later. And how has it tell me about the process of when you were finding out and then going through all the different things that you had to deal with and learn how to keep your blood sugar regulated.
Yeah, so most people with type 1 find out before they're 12 years old or so. I didn't find out till I was 18, about to graduate my senior year of high school. Basically, what happened, that they said I had it for about 8 months prior to when I found out. In those 8 months, I was playing both high school and travel hockey, and they were saying that that helped a lot to maintain my blood sugar a little low because it basically was just steadily rising over that time. And then once the seasons ended, I played baseball in high school, and obviously baseball, you don't do much. Um, so yeah, over time I just started losing more and more weight. My usual weight was 150 pounds, and I went all the way down to 116. And I just remember like how sickly I looked. I looked like a walking skeleton basically. So we ended up getting it checked out. They saw my blood sugar. Normal blood sugar is around 120. You want to be around there. My blood sugar at the time was over 800. So it was just, yeah, it was just a crazy time. And then my doctor ended up, slowly bringing my blood sugar down. And about 2 weeks or so, I was back to normal, but it was still like such a process, just trying to, you know, figure out the foods I'm eating and how much insulin to take with that. Excuse me, with that, and it was just a big learning experience.
What okay, so you're going through the process, you finally get regulated. How long did it take you out of hockey or training or games or what have you, or practices? How long did it keep you out? And then getting back into hockey, what was it like, as far as, really making sure, because your first lesson or time on the ice, I'm sure it was kind of, it's like a new beginning. You have something else that you have to worry about, not just most people, they just jump on the ice, don't really think about it, but now you have your own health that you have to make sure that you're monitoring. And how did, like, the first time you jumped on the ice, what was that like? And then how have you come to now where it's a little bit easier, and it's more instinctive for you now?
Yeah, so basically, I was lucky enough where this all happened like when the season was done, and I wasn't quite in the training mindset yet because I was still playing baseball. But once the baseball season ended, I would say about from the time I got diagnosed to the time I was back training for hockey was about 3 months or so. And basically, I remember my first lesson was with you on the synthetic ice, and about like halfway through, I noticed I started to feel a little weird. So I went and checked my blood sugar. It was starting to get low, but not too much of a cause for concern. So I just drank some Gatorade, and then I was able to finish the lesson and just made sure I ate some food. And, after that, I was back to normal.
Now, what with everything going on, what are your so you go to TCNJ, this is your senior year, and it with this going on, this has really robbed a lot of people of their senior years, their freshman years, and it's been very tough for a lot. You are a marketing major. What are you planning to do? How much more school do you have left at TCNJ, and I mean, what do you plan to do afterwards?
Yeah, so I'm graduating in May, and after I've just been trying to apply places, try to get a marketing job, or sales job, whether that's e-commerce or sales. Like I've just been trying to find everything because the job market's hard right now, so I've just been trying to get my name out there and stuff.
I think for Ztending, we have, I mean, between you, Curtis, who's a finance major, and also Glick, I think we have some of the most like marketing and finance majors, probably in goalie school. I mean, I know there's some, much bigger goalie schools out there, but I feel we have quite a few of you guys are all in the kind of like the same realm of majors and in the same field. So I think Ztending's it's going to be doing pretty good as far as monitoring their money here.
Monitoring the markets.
Yeah, right. So one of my fondest memories, and I got to see this happen, is your senior year in high school. It was at Igloo, which now I live 10 minutes away from. Your high school team won championship. Take me through that kind of your high school career leading up to that, and that season as well, and leading up to that game.
Yeah, so my freshman year, I was just exclusively playing JV, just normal. We ended up winning the championship in the JV that year, which was pretty awesome, felt pretty cool. But I mean, I didn't feel that validated because it was only JV. Yeah, so sophomore year, I played JV as well, just because we had great goaltending on the varsity level. So both freshman and sophomore year, I was on JV, and then junior year, I split time between JV and varsity. Our varsity team was abysmal that year. We were 116-2 or something crazy like that, and yeah, it was just all hope lost season. So going into my senior year, I didn't have much high hopes. I was more focused on travel, but we ended up doing really well, and then we made it to playoffs. The whole team just got a hot streak, and we ended up going to the championship. It was by far the craziest game I ever played in. We were down by 2 goals with 47 seconds left. We ended up tying it up. It's like the last 10 seconds. When we went to overtime, we ended up winning. It was just absolutely insane. So it was just a crazy high school career in that sense.
Yeah, the rink was going, everybody was going nuts that game. It was definitely intense, and typical goalie coach, goalie parent. I'm sitting in the corner, so that way, like, I can see you, you can see me. Just kind of going through the game and being able to see the whole entire ice as well. So what as far as Has type 1 diabetes, has that, going through with it and being an athlete, and you're, obviously more aware of your blood sugar, has it kind of taken over your life, or has it just kind of been, is it now in the like a back burner where it's kind of like it's part of you, it's there, but it doesn't take any precedence? So like how does it affect your life as an athlete?
Yeah, so I mean, I would have a way different answer for you 4 years ago than I would now. I mean, back then it was such a mindset where it was hard for me to concentrate on the game because I'm constantly thinking about my own blood sugar and my health. But as time went by and I slowly learned to maintain it, the ticks of what happened, like for example, for me, I know it's different for everybody, but for me, my blood sugar would drop like about an hour or so after I'm finished my workout, whereas other people it could be instantly. And I was kind of cognizant of that. And after practice, I would have either snacks with me or Gatorade to chug after. And so, I mean, nowadays, obviously, I lost my senior year to COVID, but my last year with hockey and everything, I had it pretty down pat where there was no restrictions whatsoever. I was just playing like a normal person would.
That's good to hear. Listen, man, Lou, do you have anything for him?
No, I think that's great that you have a routine. I know I had a player on my team this year, one of the junior teams that had pretty bad type 1 diabetes, and he was constantly checking his sugar and drinking apple juice on the bench, and you could tell when his sugar was getting down because he looked out of it just sitting on the bench after a shift. So it's tough to manage, and it's great that you have a routine down that regulates it pretty well.
I've known, Ponto, you would be the third type 1 diabetic that I would know as far as in the hockey world. My grandfather actually has diabetes as well. But so as far in the hockey world, we had a shooting director, a kid I coached at for junior hockeys for the Habs, and shot for us for years. Lobo, he has type 1 diabetes as well. And then also we had a kid at Princeton University. So she had her pump. She was always constantly monitoring, had to like dip off and grab a quick apple juice and whatnot. So it's good to see that something like this, which is, very important, and it is very crucial for your well-being to stay alive. But at the same time, it's something that is, easily monitored, and just something you have to be aware about and become second nature, after a while. I mean, it's just like, training for anything that you're doing. I mean, within our hockey realm, power legs, when you're a mite and squirt, it's like, what is this? Like, how I can't do this. And, and then the kids just start crawling and diving. And then after a while they figure it out and they're like, oh, and then they start power legging all over the place. And now I'm like, all right, get up now. But it just becomes second nature. And it's awesome to see, and see you grow up and now in your senior year of college, and face the battles that you had and supersede them. But listen, man, this is a great interview. I really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully I get to see you at summer camps this season. We're going to be all over the place, and this is really good information, to awaken people up about type 1 diabetes and how it's something that's crucial. You need to know about, and that won't control your life if you don't let it.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. I was glad to be able to talk about it. And I mean, if it helps anybody, it's a great thing to have.
Awesome, bud. Thank you.
Thank you.
What an awesome interview. It's so cool, the variety that we have provided in such a couple episodes, and the variety that we have installed. For those of you that are watching this show, we have 12 episodes planned for just this season alone, and we have many more seasons planned in the future. This is going to be a show that is going to go for a long time, and we have a lot of information to give to you guys. And again, this is all for free. We want to make sure that we are dedicating ourselves to you and being able to get all our information to you as much as we possibly can. You know, there's more to give than just being paid for a lesson or a camp or what there is. There's more that we can give to you guys in the Ztending community and the greater Ztending community as well. But that interview was awesome. Nick Pontorio, Ponto is just like, he's a dedicated Z-tender for life, and it's really awesome to see his resilience of, you know, learning about being diabetic when he's 18 years old and transition to. It was so great to hear, you know, him saying that, you know, looking back, you know, the different answers he would have given about his diabetes and how it, you know, at one point it controlled his life, and now it's kind of like a second thought, and it's very instinctive, and how he can you know, continue on his athletic career, you know, being a type 1 diabetic, and learning and evolving with it. So it was really cool and touching story to have. I mean, man, like, you met him, I believe, a couple times, and
yeah, he's. I mean, that's huge, and it just goes to show you that you know, he like he said, when he first got diagnosed, it was like a learning curve. He had to learn how his body reacted to the diabetes. But now that he has it under control, it's kind of like a second thought. It doesn't hold him back on anything.
exactly.
You know, he's able to play, and that, you know, that for any Z tenders out there, you know, I know there's a lot of people that battle diabetes and other medical ailments. Doesn't mean it needs to control you. It's just something we got to overcome and learn from, right?
Exactly. I mean, you are going to be sent so many different, you know, obstacles in life, and it's just part of being alive and being a person in the world that we are in. There's obstacles. You know, nobody in whatever right they are, whether you think they have it in life or not, nobody has a smooth road. Whether you think someone has money or, you know, and is going somewhere and has everything handed to them. No, it doesn't matter if you have money, you don't have money. Nobody has a smooth road. We all have obstacles, and we all have to make sure that we are, bonding together as a community and helping each other get through these, because we can't expect to get through every obstacle ourselves, and we can't be, not only just expect to do things ourselves, but we also have to make sure that we can let ourselves be vulnerable and ask for help, and that's super important. And I know you, Coach Lou, from, you know, our mental health coach, you're very strong on reaching out.
Absolutely, and it's that's a big step in the process, is taking that huge step to ask for help and say, you know, I can't go at this alone. I need some help, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, actually.
Exactly. And be able to communicate, and actually take that first step, and saying something and say, hey, I'm not feeling good today. Okay,
Yeah,
cool, great, thank you. That's all. Like, perfect. I need to know that. I need to
yeah,
know that as a coach. Hey, listen, coach, I'm not feeling great today. This is going on. This is going on. Okay. All right. And maybe, and if you, let's say that's happening before a lesson, and you know, you're not in the best headspace. That's so important to know as a coach, because, okay, you know what? I had this plan, but let's do this instead. I think this is really going to help you in your state of mind, and, you know, and where you're at right now, and let's build you up. Let's let's
yeah.
let's let's get back to the fundamentals, or whatever we have to do. Let's keep it simple and work on this and this, so that way we can, distract your mind and body, and but also in a good way to produce healthy growth in your position. And it's so important to be able to healthily distract your mind, not by doing anything, you know, alcohol or drugs, and to turn and trying to escape but more or less dealing with what you're going through, but also having a sport, a lesson, and also a mentor and a coach to help you along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so many different things that you can use to health. I'm using your words, healthfully. um, escape your, your struggles and stuff. Like Z, you use climbing, and I climb too. I know you use it more as like a mental and a stress relief thing for you, but I like recently I've been reading. Helps me calm my mind a little bit, takes my
What are you
mind
currently
off.
reading?
I'm actually reading a serial killer book, which
They are so, oh man.
yeah,
So I
it's
know,
that
like,
true crime
I'll
stuff. It
watch
gets me.
every crime documentary
I
out
know.
there. We just started watching, oh man, we watched a documentary that was on the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
All right. And then we watched that one, and now we are working on a Night Stalker, which is about that as well, about a killer that was in there.
Okay.
So yes,
I gotta watch that. I
100%.
watched Mindhunter, and then I'm reading one of the books that guy wrote
Yes.
that's based off of.
Oh, I
so.
bet there's way more information in that too than what you
Oh
see
yeah,
in this
yeah,
show.
yeah.
But hey, listen, what a great interview we had with Ponto. And so for our next segment, we have Apex video analysis. We have one of my Protect Junior Ducks goalies, Dakota Mayer, sorry. And what he goes to, he's so smooth, he's so calm, and it's beautiful to see his symmetry in his gloves. He's got a great narrow stance. At the same time, he makes sure that he engages his hips the whole entire time, which is so important, because when you engage your hips, you're not going to be sitting back. You're going to have a good chest forward lean, which is so important, not only just because it creates a greater mobility rate, but also it helps you get your head in a position to be able to track the puck just as good. It helps keep your spine in line, which is one, healthy for your spine, but two, makes it better for you to be able to move, balance, pretty much everything, and get your joints and bones lined up in a proper way, so that way you have maximum mobility, maximum balance. And then what we also see in that, and where you mentioned, is the little small adjustments, staying up with the play, making small adjustments, not watching the play, but moving with it. All right. So let's get to this Apex video analysis. All right, Z-Tenders, here's our Apex video analysis. Right here we have Dakota Mayer of the Protect Junior Ducks that I coach in the EHL. So for this drill, just to point out, puck starts in the corner, and in this play, there is 3 players. When this pass gets puck, let's start over. Oh, good too, because my dryer just started and ended. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, Z-Tenders. In this Apex video analysis, we have Dakota Mayer of the Protect Junior Ducks, and in this drill, we have 3 shooters out there. Puck gets passed over. These 2 players make a scissor play and then have a backdoor option. So there's a lot of options in this play, and with this one, we have to really read the play very well by using our shoulder checks, and also making sure that we are always set and ready, making smaller adjustments and staying with the puck as they pass back and forth, and as they move their feet. So a lot of tiny shuffles, staying set and ready, keeping the gloves in symmetry here. So the puck goes out, staying with it, gaining some depth, and getting our shot ready feet as we see that play developing. So again, let's break it down a little bit, how it's right from the start, getting a good seal from the post, getting a good T push out. Very good job of keeping we got a tight package here. Okay, we have the gloves nice and tight, stick is in the middle, good knee bend, a lot of symmetry here, nice and relaxed, gaining some depth. As you see right here, watch this little movement. Boom, stop. and then gaining the weight back to the balls of the feet as we stop an edge, which is very important because a lot of times we get caught flat-footed and we stop using both our heels, like we do a 2-foot push, and then we get off balance and we get flat-footed on our heels, and we need to make sure that we can readjust our balance back to the balls of our feet. As the shot comes in, he sees the shot's getting ready to be made, setting the feet, and it goes right in the glove with beautiful box control here. Now, again, as this play goes, the pass can come out and it can also go across. Okay, there's many options. So he has to make sure that he's ready to be honest on the shot and then also be ready to make a play across. Your thoughts, Coach Lou?
Really quick on his small adjustments. If you go back to where the two-player scissor right here, if you notice and look at his feet, how small of an adjustment he actually makes when they do the scissor motion on the play, it really doesn't look like much. It's a very small movement. And I know I've been talking with some New Hampshire Z-tenders about making small adjustments and how much or how little you actually have to move on some plays. But right there, he's making a very small adjustment, gaining some depth, and he's right on angle and square with his shot. So it's not a big over-exaggerated movement that needs to be made, just a little tiny adjustment to keep yourself square to the shot there.
Perfect. Exactly. Small movements, not moving too fast, too quick, and giving up the short side, making sure that you're letting that player get to the far side, let that puck lead you, and you're making that player work for the shot. Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. This is our Apex video analysis. Make sure you're making small adjustments. Stay square to puck. Keep a nice symmetry with your gloves. And then also make sure that you are not pushing too far, too fast. Be patient, guys. You have time. Make sure that you're getting good, crisp, clean pushes. Good hard push, good hard stop every time. All right. So it's so important to make sure that we are making those small adjustments and not watching the play. Make sure you're staying up with it. And as you are reading, it's so important. There's so many people everywhere. You have to make sure you make your shoulder checks and make sure you're staying on with it. Know where everybody is in your zone. And then that is going to help you to be able to collect all that data and make good decisions. Okay. So if you know where everybody is and that player with the puck is facing their stick or body a certain way, it's going to help you figure out where they're going to put the puck. Now, they may be making a disguise with it or not, but you never know. At least it's going to give you some information and data, and the more data you have, the better decision you can make. So make sure that you are making your shoulder checks and know where everybody is, making the small adjustments when they make when they're skating with the puck. Make sure that you are making the small adjustments to stay on the angle and not watch the play. If you keep watching the play, obviously holes are going to open up and they're going to see it, and then you're going to be late. So always make sure you improve your position all the time. Man, listen, dude, so much going on in the hockey world right now. We've been live streaming the PWHPA game, and man, it's been it's 0-0. It's in this second period. It's been such a back and forth game. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Decent amount of shots, good puck movement, and it's good puck movement for these girls haven't played together for that long of a time. Some of them play, in instances and moments and played for what other teams going forth. But however, these girls haven't played together on a consistent basis, and to see the cohesion and the plays that they're making just shows their professional level of hockey IQ, and it's so cool to watch.
It definitely is. This is a great game right now. I'm watching the play happen right here. Just the in zone movement that's going on right now with the passing back and forth is awesome.
So our interview we had today, we had Nick Pontorio, talking about his type 1 diabetes, and we were our apex analysis, speaking about always, make sure adjusting to play, setting your feet, having good set feet for the shot, but always ready for the pass. Be honest on the shot. Don't cheat, but be ready for the pass. Ready. Always be ready, but always be relaxed. You don't want to be stiff. Be relaxed. Ready and relaxed is always a good position to be in. This episode is they keep I don't know how they keep on getting better and better and better. From long time, new Z10ers to long time Z10ers to Olympians to other long time Z10ers. We have next episode, we're gonna have our Norwegian Z10er / Z10ing coach, Sigurd Vala.
We're just hitting that whole area of the world, the Norway, Finland.
We have so many. The coolest thing is we have so much more planned and so many more episodes ready to go. It's just so cool to see the Z10ing community that we have developed over so many different years and what it's come to. And listen, if you want anything, if you have any questions and you want us to feature anything on this, please send us a message. Subscribe to our YouTube, please. I really would advise that. It's a whole bunch of free information. I've been putting stuff on YouTube for so many different years. There's so many videos. There's hundreds of videos. Please subscribe to it. And if there's any suggestions you want and anything you want, you can contact us on pretty much any social media there is, between myself on at Ztending or at Ztending New Hampshire, which is our coach Lou Luttrell right here, my co-host, and backbone here in the Massachusetts area, which is growing even more. The Z logo is recognizable all over the place, and it's awesome to see, and we really appreciate all of you out there that watch and are a part of our content. I advise you, please DM me on any social media that you are watching us on, and just say hi. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to get to know you more, and I would love to know how I can help you. Not just myself, but also Coach Lou and the rest of our staff to help you as best as we can. Again, there's many ways for us to help you and not have to take your money. I want to give as much free content as we possibly can and spread our knowledge and our culture, and this podcast or YouTube series, whatever you want to call it, is about the Z10ing culture and what we really are about. And I want as many Z10ers in the world as we possibly can, and I want to share our live, love, learn hockey mentality. And we talked about it in the first and second podcast or episode, and it's really about living, being a moment, loving, being respectful, and learning, always keeping the brain turned on. And whether that's hockey, climbing, football, soccer, whatever it is, but make sure you're always living in the moment, loving, being passionate of whatever you're doing, and putting everything you have in there and learning. Always keep the brain turned on. Sometimes you need to check out, but listen, make sure that you have the brain turned on and you're always accepting new information. Keep the blinders off, accept everyone's point of view, understand that there's more than one and everybody's going through the thing. Accept that you have your own problems, your own tribulations, and accept that you can be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. Accept that you are not in this alone. Accept that you are not the first to go through this, whether you feel like you are. There are many more have gone through what you're going through before. And if not, guess what? There's someone that has gone through something similar that is willing to talk to you. And we are those people. We are those coaches. We are those people who are willing to talk to you about anything at any time, anywhere. And that's what it's all about. And that's what we are about, Ztending. That's it in a nutshell. Listen, Lou, love you, man. I love you, Z
Love you
Tenders.
too.
What do you got, man?
Oh, I think your last speech there was awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's awesome, and that's why we're bringing you Z tenders and their stories. They want to share their stories with you to hopefully help out the Z tender community, and that's what we're going to bring you every single week.
Listen, I don't care if we get 3 views or 1,000,000 views. This is a banger. This is some great information. There's much love to be had here for Ztending, and we want to give it all to you guys and all our information we have. And we would love to hear your stories. And listen, one of the best things that we got to hear is at the end of the day, this sport is a game. Okay, it's a game, and it's games are meant to be fun. They're not always fun, and then you learn from that, and that's part of life. Life can be fun and it cannot be so fun. And you're going to have to go through it, but you don't have to go through it alone. And that's the best part about the sport we play in. It's a team sport. And Ztending, we are a team. Okay. We are a community and we go through everything together, including let's talk about real quick, a real high. And I want to mention this before we land. Rylan Talier, technically Minnesota MHC Z tender, but he's our New Hampshire, our New England Z tender as well.
Yeah.
3
Cod,
game shutout streak. He had 5 shutouts he planned for this year. 5 shutouts. He got to 2. And he had 3 games left in his season. Coach was like, your goals you set for this year? Ryland's like, yep, 5 shutouts. I got 3 games left, and I have 3 shutouts left. He's like, all right, cool. Game number 1, shutout. Game number 2, shutout. And sure enough, game number 3, finished it off, shutout. Dude, really appreciate your dedication to being a Z tender. I really this is a kid who also has quite a bit of open communication with me, and we were just live on Instagram earlier and getting caught up with it. It's awesome to have conversation with Z tenders on a daily. Literally what I live for. I love to hear your conversations. Please DM me. If you're not a Z tender, DM me. Let me know how you're doing. I don't care if you're a Stop It, Mega, or whatever goalie coach you have. Let me know how you're doing. Talk to me. Talk to Coach Lou. We are here. We want to hear your highs, your lows, your mids, and your non-hockey stories and everything about you. We love you. Live, love, learn hockey. This is episode 4 of our In the Crease show. Guess what? Stay tuned for a whole bunch more.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry